Anin Buju, welcome back to another episode of Ojibwe Language Table with Wes Jourdain. This week we are lesson number 35. We're getting up there. Talking about way banabiwan. Way banabiwan. And that is fishing. As fishing opener is coming up here soon. We want to go over some vocabulary along with some phrases and some questions on how to ask your friends if they're going fishing or not, when they're going fishing, did they go fishing, stuff like that. And we're gonna include some good information that we can use here in the springtime and talking about our going out to go fish. So real basic today. We're just gonna start out with some vocabulary words. We're gonna have some pictures. I chose 10 today, so this might go by a little bit quicker, but nonetheless, we always start with our self-introduction. Bonjour, Kinawia. Anin, bonjour, Ginawa, Minawa. Wes Jourdain, Indigenous, Gidaga, Benesi, Indigo. Migizin, and Dudem. Squaw, Gamiwe, Zaga, Gunning, and Dunjaba. Ga, Asanita, Inda. All right, so that's our self-intro. 35 weeks of Ojibwe now. We should be getting down our self-introduction, learning a lot of the basics. This is a good learning tool to kind of start you off in Ojibwe language to at least learn the basics. And once you start adding a little bit to the basics and then things start clicking, that's the way has been going for me as a language learner myself. So here we go. Way but not biwin means fishing. We have the verb way but not be, which means here he fishes with a hook and line, and we add this win on it, makes it like the action or however you would want to say that. So fishing is our topic this week, and real good one because there's always something we can learn when we go fishing. And real good pastime, real fun pastime with our families and stuff like that. So let's just get started, go through our PowerPoint presentation. And our first one we have is Gmon. Okay, I want you guys to repeat after me at home or wherever you may be on the road. If you're listening to this in your car, Gmon. Okay, that's our word for boat. Our pluralize that. Usually, fishing opening, you're going to see more than one boat. You can say Gmonon. Gmonon. Boats. Okay, so there's an example of our word for boat, Gmon. Next one we have is Pidgey Gun. Pidgey Gun. And that is a trailer. That's a new word for me also. So, if I make mistakes on here too, that's fine. If you guys make mistakes, that's fine. We're all learning. I'm still learning right along with you guys who are watching. So, Pidgey Gun is my would be my way of saying trailer. Pidgey Gun. Here in Red Lake, Minnesota, I should mention that more that the dialect that I share with you guys here and a lot of the words that I go through, is relatively northern Minnesota, Red Lake, Obashing area. But check with your elders, check with your first language speakers in your community, check with your fluent speakers, check with those who have more knowledge of some of these words. It may differ in your community. Some of these words may differ, especially this one right here, Akikons. Okay, I guess you look this one up in the Ojibwe People's Dictionary, which is a great resource and great tool if we ever need help with anything. Majority of things in the Ojibwe language are in there by various speakers have contributed to that book, and Akikons was one of our words for motor. Okay, if you remember Akikons, maybe from a past lesson that I've done, maybe, let's see, where did we use Akikons? I think we used a kick in our sugar bush lesson a while back. And what that is a bucket. And so Akikons would be the diminutive, would be a small bucket of some sort, but it must tie into something else. You know, if it has something to do with a motor, I don't know, maybe it's talking about the top part here. I don't know. It could mean so much more than just a small bucket. But for today, we're just gonna go with Akikons. That's what I've come to figure out. And if it's more than that, you know, in your community, feel free to comment that into the comment section of this video on YouTube. And you know, a lot of people check the comments and add to it once in a while. And I advise you just to you know, state where your community's from, so that we can kind of get a picture of where these things are said. If you have a different word for motor, I would like for anyone to come share that on here in the comment section. So, Akikons. All right, next one we have is Jaybawanak. Jaybawanak. And that's a or. One or, Jaybawanak. Jaybawanakun. Jaybawanakun. Two or more oars. Usually you would have oars on a boat. In case your motor wasn't working too well, you would you know, paddle your way to wherever you need to go. Jaybawanak. Jaybawanakun. All right, next we have Megiskanatig. Megiskanatig. And that is a fishing rod. Megiskanatig. One fishing rod. Megiskanatigug. Two or more fishing rods. And your boat may or may not have, you know, more than one fishing rod. Fishing with a partner, usually you bring a couple fishing rods, maybe. Depending on, you know, what your fishing limits are, and, you know, what lakes you're on, and how good fishing is in your lakes. If you know, here in Red Lake, we're known for our ogawag, our walleye. And that's another lesson coming up here. We'll talk about different species of fish. But, you know, Red Lake, also known as Ogakaning, which is the place where there's an abundance of walleye, is kind of how I interpret that. Oga, ka, meaning an abundance, and then ning is giving it its location. So we'll have more on that in future episodes here. Megiskanatigug. Fishing rods, Megiskanatigug. Fishing rods, Megiskanatig. Megiskanatigug. All right. Moving along, we have Migusgun. Migusgun. One hook. Megiskanan. More than one hook. Two or more. Okay, Megisgun, Megiskanan. However many hooks you have, that's our word for fishing hook. All right, winding down here, we have Gigujants. Gigujants. And notice right here, I could have probably put an NH in here to say the word gigun, which is our word for fish. Ain't is putting on our diminutive, making something small. And so in this case, we have Gigujants. And if you can kind of hear that, Gigujants, kind of nasally in this area right here, Gigujants. Okay, that's for 1 minnow. Gigujantsug. More than 1 minnow. All right, different fish prefer different kinds of minnows, so there's all different kinds of minnows. We don't just specify each minnow we can just say Gigujaints or Gigujaintsug. Okay, minnow or minnows. Next one, good to have one of these on board. A sub. A sub is a net. Okay, you gotta get a nice catch. Maybe you have a partner with you or you're solo out there. It's always good to secure your catch with a what we call a sub in Ojibwe or an Anishinaabe net. The Quanjigun. The Quanjigun is a pliers. You always want to have a pliers handy in case you know your Migusgun goes deep down in that fish's throat or anything. You can grab the Quanjigun and you'll pry that out of there. The Quanjigun pliers. And our last one today we have Bunakaji Gun. Bunakaji Gun. Bunakaji Gun. Let's try it that way. This is a new word for me too also today, and I didn't get a chance to practice it, but throwing it together, it looks like it says Bunakaji Gun. Bunakaji Gun, which is an anchor. You might want to carry an anchor along with your boat if you're out in the hot spot. You know where the fish are, you drop anchor there and you know, you catch your fish there. A lot of people like to troll on the open waters, but once you find that spot, you know where the fish are, you can drop your anchor. Your Bunakaji Gun is how it looks like that this word is said. I've never heard it before, but like I said, I'm still learning too. So, you know, this is just a run through of some vocabulary of some of the things that we might use or need out in our open water fishing. So just to run through them again, we have Gmon, Gmonan, boat or boats. Saga Pidgey Gun, which is a trailer. Akikons was the word we came up with for a motor. And if you have any other words, please share. Jaybawanak. A Jaybawanak is a oar. A Jaybawanakun. Oars. All right, next one, Megiskanatig. Megiskanatig. Fishing rod, Megiskanatigug. Megiskanatigug, fishing rods, plural. Migusgun. Migusgun, fish hook. Migishkanan. Migusgun, none. Fish hooks, sorry about that. Gigujaints. Gigujaints. Minnow. Gigujaintsug. Minnows, Gigujaintsug. A sub is a net. A sub. The Quanjigun. The Quanjigun, pliers. Bunakaji Gun. Bunakaji Gun, an anchor. And those are just 10 vocabulary words that we're going to start off this series of Ojibwe language table with. And, you know, we're talking way, but not when we're talking about fishing. So I'm excited for the next few upcoming lessons. With that, miigwech bizindawi, minawa, miigwech gi ganawaban the meg. Thank yous for listening and thank yous for watching. Oma nungam here today. Gigawabamin and nim minawa. I'm letting you guys know that I will see yous again. Pegish gigawabamin and nim minawa. I hope I'll see you guys again. Okay, and have a good one. I am Guam is Ziok.